Hello Americans and other friends and subscribers from around the world. Back again. Today I am going to make some no-bake breakfast bars with oatmeal. Got some old-fashioned rolled oats here. Rice Krispie treats. Right, not treats I guess. Just Rice Krispies. Honey, peanut butter, some nuts, and some dried fruit. I've got a little bit of prep to do still, but I just wanted to show how I do the honey and the peanut butter. This recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of honey and 1.25 cups of peanut butter. So I put my honey in my glass measuring cup to the measurement, and then I add the peanut butter until it rises up to the full 2 cups. And my honey is crystallized. So I warm it up just a little bit until it liquefies again in the glass jar, and it's difficult to get the exact measurement. So after it's liquefied, then I'll scoop it out until I hit that 3/4 of a cup measurement. That just makes it a little bit easier than trying to measure it when it's crystallized. And then it gets all gummed up on the sides and you can't see your measurements no more. Okay, and that looks pretty close to the 3/4 cup, so I'm going to go with that. Just set this aside. I've got honey dripping everywhere. And before I put the peanut butter in, I'm going to take a break here in the film and do some more prep, and then come right back and show you the rest of it. So with my prep work, I've got the honey cleaned up because that was kind of a mess. I got my pan that I'm going to put it in with my wax paper, and I almost forgot the chocolate chips. I like chocolate chips in mine. A little bit of extra sweetness. Okay, so I'm just going to read the recipe to you real quick. This recipe calls for 2 cups of oats, and it can be old-fashioned oats or quick oats. In this recipe, I like the Krispies, so I'm only going to do 1 cup of oats. And when you use the Krispies, it's not equal part for equal part. I tried 1 cup of Crispy with 1 cup of oat, and it wasn't enough to bind everything together. So in here is 2 cups. I might not use this whole thing, but 2 cups of Krispies. My honey and my peanut butter. I showed that earlier. Nuts. This recipe calls for 3/4 cup of honey. 3/4 cup of honey, 1 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of nuts, but I like mine heavy on the nuts, so this is more of a cup of nuts. I really like the nuts in there.
Hey, you too.
Any kind of dried fruit. Today I am using my Montmori tart cherries, and it calls for 3/4 of a cup. That's about 3/4 of a cup. And a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, and it's a combination of semi-sweet and dark in there. So I always lay out all my ingredients first, because once you get going, you don't want to have to stop and go find and measure and do all that. So this is going to be my mixing bowl, and this is a really cool. I picked this up at a thrift store. Yeah, it's called Mad Hungry is the brand name, but it's a great little paddle.
You really like toss stuff.
Yeah, and when you're stirring something like this, it's so heavy and dense, you need something with some weight. So this is
cool.
That really, really works good. And you can hear the dogs. They're playing in the background. Yeah. So I take 2 spoons. And if you've never used Adam's peanut butter, it separates with the oil, so you got to stir it. So I get it all stirred up to the right consistency, and then I keep it in the refrigerator. So when I pull it out, it's pretty firm. You can't like spread it out onto a fresh piece of bread. So I might want to stick this in the microwave after I get it in here, just so that I can stir it a little bit easier. Yeah. So I just scoop it in until it hits that 2 cup mark on my measuring cup. A little bit more. And that should be the 2 cup. Just kind of push it down. It's pretty darn close. I'm going to set those aside. Over there. Over there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have to warm it. It feels pretty good. And with the Adams peanut butter too, just stirring it, getting it moving around, the friction will loosen it up pretty quick too. So that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the bowl. Get it all scraped out. Very gooey. And I've tried this with like a Jiffy type peanut butter. I call it candy peanut butter. And it turns out fine. It turns out fine. So you don't have to use the Adams. I just prefer the Adams. I prefer the Adams over the other kinds of peanut butter. And if you're not familiar with Adams, it is, I'll read you the ingredients. Ingredients. Peanut contains 1% or less of salt. That's it.
Real peanut butter.
Real peanut butter. So I get that in there. I'll just turn the bowl so you can see. I'm going to stir this until that honey and that peanut butter are just one creamy mixture. And like I said, you can put it in the microwave and warm it for just 20 seconds or something to make that stirring a little bit easier. And get that in there all good. And I want to put my oats in first because I'm not sure how much of the Crispies I'm going to want. Put that in. That's a cup. Put in my half a cup of, maybe a little bit less, chocolate chips. My nuts. Be very nutty. I like the breakfast bars nutty. Stirring it up just a little bit to grab a hold of all those dry ingredients. And the cherries. You can use raisins, blueberries, currants, cranberries, and if you can even put some coconut. I tried it with coconut. That's good too. Just use your imagination. Whatever your favorite flavors are. I'm just trying to get the dry ingredients stuck to the sticky mixture. That's what I'm doing there. And if you've ever made no-bake chocolate chip or chocolate cookies with the chocolate and the oats, you know it's kind of hard to get all that in there. Okay, so I'm going to put in half of this. Kind of stir this in. This is the tricky part. And the more dense that you can get it, the better it'll hold together and not be crumbling when you go to pick it up or take a bite. And I still have a lot of sticky in there that can grab onto more dry, so I'm going to go ahead and put just all of this in. Get it mixed. Different techniques on your stirring. However you do it, however it works, there's no right way or wrong way. And these are great just to have in the fridge or the freezer for emergencies. You know, you don't realize that you're going to be leaving the house so quickly and you don't have time to get something to eat. You can grab it on the go. The grandkids just love it. They, Timothy Tucker, before Christmas, we were talking about gifts and things that he might want. And he told me, he says, "Hey, Ma, would you make me some granola bars?" I thought that was so sweet. So I made a batch for each of the kids for Christmas, and I cut them into little tiny squares and put them into single serve bags where they had like 4 little squares in each bag. They could keep it in the fridge, and they just love that. You can see that those Crispies just really took into all that sticky pretty good. What I kind of look for is in the bottom of the bowl when I lift, if there's dry ingredients down there, just kind of drifting around, it's telling me that I don't have it combined enough. But when I look down at the bottom of the bowl here, it's looking pretty good. One more turn. Yeah, that's looking really good. Okay, so I'll bring out my prepared pan over here. And this is approximately, what'd you guess there? 7 by 9?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, but it you know, the size of your thing is just going to determine the thickness, so it really doesn't matter whatever you've got. You want to get this in there in a semi-even, but it doesn't have to be perfectly even. You can see it's kind of crumbly. Kind of crumbly. I don't know if you can hear the rain hitting the roof. We got some rain coming down. It's kind of nice. It's going to be melting some of that snow. Getting ready for mud season. Oh, just toss some stuff out. And it's going to be really fun with all the dogs.
Yeah.
All the mud. This guy's trying to escape. A little bit more left in here. And it looks like I've got too small of a pan for what I'm doing, but once I get it all in there, I'm going to be able to press it down and fill the pan completely, all the corners and edges. And it'll make a nice sized breakfast bar. Oh, they're escaping. It's trying to escape. Again. Scrape what I can off the spoon. You can see there's not much dry left in there. And I have another sheet of wax paper. And I'll use my hands just to kind of roughly get it spread out evenly in the pan, focusing on the corners and the edges. Get it squeezed down in there. Got a little bit much on the right, so I'm kind of just working it over to the left. And then I take another pan that's slightly smaller and use that to press it in there as tight as you can. Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
What you doing?
Oh, I just heard you press it in there as tight as you can.
Yeah, we're making some breakfast bars.
Breakfast burritos?
Breakfast bars.
Oh.
Does this look like a burrito? You silly
so
boy.
excited.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed. I'm using my fingers again to get the edges in. And you keep doing this until you feel like you've got it. Compress as much as you possibly can.
You want me to press it for?
Nope, that's okay. Normally I don't peel off the top, but I'm going to peel off the top so you can see what it looks like. Right to the rim of that pan. Now, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it get good and cold. Alright, the breakfast bars, no-bake breakfast bars, have been in the refrigerator for probably about 5 hours. You might not have to leave them in there quite as long if you don't want to, but we were busy doing some other stuff. So first thing I do is just turn it upside down, gently lift the pan off, gently lift off the bottom layer, which is now the top layer of wax paper. Set that aside. And then just cut it into the size and shape that you want them to be. I'm just going to do these kind of like in a rectangle.
She makes them too small.
I make them too small?
Yes.
No, you just want to eat too many of them at once.
Probably sit there and eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Good.
He could. He loves them as much as the grandkids.
I love them as much as my grandkids, man. I love those a lot.
No, I mean, you love these as much as the grandkids love these. Yeah, and this is a great way to get some energy into the kids before school. Great way. They don't have to be perfect. As you can see, this is not perfect. Now, if I was chopping these up for the kids, I would do in 4s like that, but since it's for my husband, I'm going to do it about that big.
Probably gonna leave in the whole stick for him.
Yeah, he would like that. But I'd be making these puppies every couple days if that was the case. I got them all out like that, and then I take my... Oh, I gotta show this. Briquet found this and picked it up and brought it to me. I don't know if you can read it. Shiitake happens.
Super cute.
And I just take the fold over bags. Those are the easiest. A little roll. Fold it on over. I actually keep them in the fridge in this pan because that's obviously the right size of pan to keep them in because they all fit. Like I said before, you can change up the ingredients. You can use instant oatmeal instead of the old-fashioned rolled. You can use raisins or omit the dried fruits if you don't like dried fruits. You could chop up some mangoes and put those in there if you want. I really like the almond. What is this? Oh, look at that. That one. That one is big.
Let me see that.
It looks like a hillbilly sized. Yeah. I did dark chocolate. Oh, there was already one in the bag. Dark chocolate chips with coconut and Crispies. I didn't put any fruit in that one because I was kind of going for the Almond Joy flavor. Those ones were really good. And the kids, they don't like coconut, but they ate that up. They didn't even know that they were eating coconut.
It was good I had some of those ones.
Pretty cute, yeah. So there we go. There's some no-bake breakfast bars for you to give a try. Oh, when I started making these, I had some sorghum and used sorghum instead of honey. And that was the best. So if you want to substitute something for the honey, you just need something that is that thick. And sorghum is thicker than molasses. Molasses is going to be too thin. If you're going to use molasses, you need a different recipe. Okay, I almost forgot something really important. I don't know if you can see what this is right here. But this is our dinner for tonight, tomorrow night. I might freeze one pan, I might cook one pan. Save this one for later. I haven't quite decided yet. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. If you want to know what this is. Okay, battery went dead. But I am not going to tell you what these are. If you want to know what these are, you need to go to Idaho Mountain Girl on YouTube. She did a video today with me. And she steps through the whole process and she'll tell you what this is. So, there you go. Okay, well I'm going to sign off then. So, good Lord willing, and those cricks don't rise.
They're rising.
We'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.